Hello everyone, this is Adhish. I'm a grade 10 student from Mumbai. So today's problem is COVID analyzer. The difficulty level of this problem is easy because you only need to know loops and conditional statements, and you only need to know how to generate the Fibonacci sequence using dynamic programming, which is actually a very basic concepts of loops and arrays. And in this video, I'll show you how exactly we can compute the simple recurrence for the Fibonacci sequence, and how we can compute it in O of n using arrays and loops. So in this problem, we are basically given the value n of the nth day, and we need to print the number of COVID cases on the nth day. And the key idea is that the COVID cases on the nth day is given by f of n, where f of I stores the ith Fibonacci number. So f of 1 is 1, f of 2 is 2, and for every I, f of I is equal to f of I minus 1 plus f of I minus 2. And we need to compute this for all I up to n. So for example, we start out by writing f of 1 is 1, then f of 2 is 2, then f of 3 is 1 plus 2, which is 3, f of 4 is 3 plus 2, which is 5, f of 5 is 5 plus 3, which is 8, and so on. So you could verify that f of 12 will be equal to f of 11 plus f of 10, which is 144 plus 89, which is 233. And in general, for any n less than or equal to 90, we can find the nth Fibonacci number by simply iterating. For all I going from 1 to n, we can store an array called fib. Fib of 1 is 1, fib of 2 is 2, and for all remaining I, fib of I is equal to fib of I minus 1 plus fib of I minus 2. And this is called the recurrence for the Fibonacci series. And in this way, we can find in 90 operations the number of cases on the 90th day. And we can do this for 90 test cases, leading to a complexity of 81,000 at most, which will easily fit in 1 second. And the code for this is basically for each test case, I take in the value of n, I store an array fib of n plus 10. I used n plus 10 in case, actually n plus 2 is enough. In case n is equal to 1 or n is equal to 2, we need to be able to store fib of 1 and fib of 2 in the array. That's why we use n plus 2 sized array. And fib of 1 and fib of 2 are basically the COVID cases on the first and second day. And for all remaining days, going from 3 up till n, we can compute fib of I is equal to fib of I minus 1 plus fib of I minus 2. Now over here, it's important to note that we need to store the fib values in a long array. If you use a vector, or if you use an array of int, you will get a wrong answer. And you could also implement this in Python by using a list. Initially, the list contains 1, 2. You could use 2 variables instead of like the whole list, and you could keep x to be the 0th value in the list, y to be the second value in the list, and each time the current element is equal to the sum of the previous 2 elements, and we basically swap the previous 2 elements so that x will refer to the second last element, which is the previous value of the last element, and the last element becomes equal to the current element. So in this way, x will refer to the second last element and y will refer to the last element so far in the loop, and t will represent the current element. And in this way, you can use only 3 variables, and in the end, you can print the last variable as the answer. Or you could just store an array and simply compute the recurrence in this manner. You can verify that both of these codes gets accepted, and the code without using a long does not get accepted. So that's all for this problem. If you had any doubts, do leave them in the comments down below.